Okay, overall, I think we have had a good week. Just getting back in the swing of things, practicing Monday and Tuesday with helmets only, and then Wednesday and Thursday. I mean, we had two really good ones and very physical practices, and then we got the day off Friday, and the day we had a scrimmage, and it was a 92 play scrimmage as far as just offense and defense goes. We had a live field goal block, and then we had 6 reps of live punt return. So overall, I thought it was a good first scrimmage. Gave our coaches a really good idea of where our players were at. I did see that just overall the players were trying to do what was asked. They were pushing through. It was really good to be out there. So it was really an overall positive scrimmage, no major injuries or anything like that. And so first Saturday was good. And then, of course, on our COVID testing, I'm going to give you all an update each week on where we're at. And, of course, I told you last week we tested everybody, week 4 last, and we had 0 positive. Well, this past week we tested last Sunday, had 0 positive for the second week in a row. So we're very encouraged with that. We did have 4 guys for COVID-related issues that carried over that did not practice this week, and they'll be back ready to go next week. And so really we're going to be very transparent, and we'll keep y'all updated, from week to week as we go, and we're hoping the other programs do the same thing. But like I said, overall, it was really good to be out there in our game field with our players, and I like the way they responded.
First question is from Steve Moulton. Steve?
Hey, Coach. I do wonder. You mentioned about sharing information with what's going on at Notre Dame and at North Carolina. With those types of situations at those schools, is that information where you want to know on how you would deal with that if that were to come about down at Auburn?
Well, I mean, it was about 4 weeks ago. We had a pretty good rash of positives, and we decided to kind of pump the brakes, and we kind of took off 4 to 5 days just to try to get that under control, and that's what we did. And that's been about 4 weeks ago, and really since then our guys have done a super job. And so we just just dealt with it and tried to get it under control, and we did that. And so I think we're in a good spot now, but we're not taking anything for granted. I'm real proud of our players, the way they're being responsible. It's just new, and it's got to be different for us to be successful and have a chance to play. I mean, there's going to be some sacrifices that our players and our coaches and everybody involved in our program are going to have to make. And the last 2 weeks they've done that, and I'm real proud of them. We'll have to continue to do that, now that the students are back on campus.
Next question is from Mark Murphy. Mark?
Guys, can you talk a little bit about the format of the scrimmage and what particular you guys worked on today in the scrimmage? And also, was anybody a standout on offense or defense?
It was real basic today, Mark. I mean, we just put the ball in the -30, and we operated with 3 groups. We let everybody play, and so that was really our plan. And we just one group got out there, and I let them stay out there until they either had to punt, kick a field goal, or score. I mean, it was really simple as that. It was real basic, and there wasn't anything that obviously we've only been practicing for 4 days, so there wasn't a whole lot of special type plays or defenses or offenses or anything like that. It was just an evaluation scrimmage, of where we're at. I mean, you got to keep in mind we've not been out on that football field since January 1st. So so it was really good for our coaches to see where we're at.
Next question is from Brian Matthews.
Hey, Coach. Thanks for speaking to us. Just wanted to see how the competition shaping up at running back so far. Anybody today, any of the running backs have a nice run or a touchdown or anything like that?
There were some good runs. Cadillac strategically, I think looking at the stat sheet, almost gave them equal carries. DJ Williams, he was not a part, today, but Tank, Mark Anthony, Shivers, Joyner, they all got just about equal carries.
And As a follow-up, Coach, any reason you can give us for DJ not being able to scrimmage today?
He'll be ready. He'll be ready next week.
Next question is from J.G. Tate. Jay?
In Montgomery today. Gus, when you come into a scrimmage like this, the first real full speed stuff you guys have done in whatever you said, 9 months or something, what are you looking for as the head coach? You just want to see, hey, are these guys fit? Do they have any idea what they're doing? What are you looking for?
Yeah, I mean, you know what I talked about is the Auburn standard, man. We go out there, we put full pads on our game field. It's Auburn standard, playing with great effort and having great pride. And there's some mistakes, but that's to be expected. And like I said, I just want them to play as hard as they possibly could. And for the most part, they did that. And so that was the positive. I mean, and now it gives us a really good judge as coaches of where we're at. Because, like I said, we didn't go through spring. So and where we're at big picture and where we're at individual players too. And then this week we'll be gearing up for our scrimmage next Saturday. And we'll put in a little bit more of our offense, a little bit more of our defense. We'll probably go a little bit longer scrimmage-wise next Saturday. You know, we strained them pretty good this week with 4 practices. Next week we'll just have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, okay, and then we'll give them off Friday and have a scrimmage. So it'll be more plays, you know, as far as next week goes.
Next question is from Philip Marshall.
Okay.
All right, I'm here. I forget about this mute button. That's really hard for me.
Right.
Gus, this had to be a different scrimmage. I mean, first day in pads also be the first scrimmage. A bunch of kids that had only had 4 practices at Auburn. Just kind of talk about that circumstance and how it played out, if you don't mind.
Yeah. You know, we just felt like as quick as we could put the ball down to evaluate our guys, and so that was part of the strategy. And you know, I guess we're 5 weeks away today from our first game, which is good. We got plenty of time, but it was more of you know, where we're at, and all right, here's where we're at, and we got 5 weeks to get to where we want to be. And so really, that was part of the strategy, and it played out pretty well. And like I said, we didn't have any kind of major injuries or anything like that, so that's always good too.
Newcomers, the young kids deal with it. I mean, they've been practicing, and now they're out there with all the upperclassmen scrimmage.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this though, Philip, the difference is we had all that walkthrough time, you know, and so it was really unique from the standpoint that really our offense and defense, they put in just about all their base stuff. Even third downs during walkthrough, in the red zone during walkthrough. So I think our young guys, I know they've got a better understanding than any other young group has before this early in practice. So that's the positive. You know, the first time scrimmage and everybody's flying around and you get the real speed of the game, I mean, obviously that's a shock to most all the freshmen's system the first time. But I do think there wasn't a whole lot of bust. That was a positive. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of missed assignments really on either side of the ball. So that kind of is a tribute to the walkthroughs that we've had up to this point. So I think that helped the young guys tremendously.
Thanks.
Next question is from Tom Green.
Hey, Gus, now that you've had a full week of practice to do some evaluation, what have your impressions been of Brandon Council?
Yeah, you can tell Brandon is an experienced guy. That's probably the best way to put it. He is very versatile. He played some center this week. You know, and I think he can play all 5 positions. So his experience and his versatility, I think, will be very, very good for us this year.
Next question is from Bill Cameron. Bill?
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned scrimmage today, one again next week. With it being 5 weeks away, how many scrimmages do you foresee having, and how physical do you feel you can be here this fall without spring?
Well, I really feel like you've got to be physical, not going through spring. And so that was part of our plan. We'll scrimmage next Saturday. I think I've got really those scheduled for the next 3. Okay, so a total of 4. We'll see where we're at with that last one, but we got to put the ball down and play and block and tackle and get tackled and and hold on to the ball and everything that goes with it. But that's just our philosophy, and felt like we needed to be physical and get back in the swing of things with not having spring football.
Next question, Mark Murphy.
Yeah, Gus, can you talk about the plan for the first game, having mostly students at the stadium, and just big picture what you think about the new schedule and how the home games are going to be handled?
Yeah, when I heard that we were going to do students only, I think that's going to be an advantage for us. I know our students will be very creative, and I think it can be an advantage for us. As far as the schedule goes, I'm looking at this thing as a positive. If you look, since we've been here, we can make a great argument that we've had the toughest schedule of anybody in our league. So one thing that it will not be a shock to our system, playing a tough schedule with a lot of SEC games. And I think there's teams in our conference that it's going to be a shock to their system because they hadn't played the tough schedules like we have. And so we're looking at that as an advantage. And, I think it will be for us.
Next question is from Josh Vitale.
Hey, Gus. How has the offensive line looked through the first week of practice and in particular today's scrimmage?
Yeah, I think they've had a solid first week. They hadn't put in a whole lot, okay, so that's always good. But they're getting used to working together. Coach Bicknell is, he's got him 2 groups, and we've not made any decisions yet on for sure this and that, and we're letting the guys compete. And there's nothing like a scrimmage, from a coach's standpoint, you can evaluate more in a scrimmage than you can, 2 or really even the first 4 practices, as far as, what a guy can do and what he can't do and how he can handle this, how he can handle that. So really good information for us, but, we've got 2 deep of guys that, are battling for those starting positions. So I think that's a positive. We'll see what happens moving forward.
Our next question is from John Zener. John?
Hey, Gus, you've already talked about the importance of having not just a 2 deep, but a 3 deep. Given that, do you have some more experiments, have some more guys working at multiple positions than you might normally? And do you have any examples if so?
Yeah, really what I told our coaches is, we've got to have a 3 deep, but just the older guys being able to play multiple positions. You're asking a young guy to play 2 positions, you're not going to build a foundation, and he's not going to be his best at either one of them. But so we're going to let them young guys and the least experienced guys just play 1 position. The older guys that kind of understand the big picture of offense and defense, they're going to be able to play, multiple positions. So that's the way we're going about this thing.
Examples that maybe you might not have done that normally, guys that you might.
Yeah, for an example would be Smoke Mondays playing some corner, some reps of 1-on-1, just to make sure that, in case things happen during the course of the season, we have enough depth, and like I said, the older guys can handle multiple positions.
Got some follow-up questions. First, we'll go to Steve Moulton. Steve?
Yeah, Coach. I was wondering if you had a thought on the NCAA's ruling of eligibility.
Yeah, what is it that they can be eligible and this year won't count? And that's probably a good rule. We'll have to figure out roster management and all that on the back end, but it's probably a good rule with everything that is going on.
Next question is from Josh Vitale. Josh?
Gus, wonder if you can tell us about what went into the decision to move Matthew Hill to defense and how he's looked there for the first week of practice.
A lot of people recruited Matthew to play defense, and so it was kind of one of those things that's what he wanted to do. And I think he's done some good things. And I think he'll have a chance to help us, on that side of the football. And the thing about Matthew is, he's a football player. He was one of our best special teams players last year, and that usually equates to being a good defensive player too.
Next question is from Mark Murphy.
Yes, how much did you guys work on the kicking game this first week, and have you got your Australian punter ready to go yet?
Yes, yeah, he was actually with us today for the first time with our team, and still has an acclimation period before he can actually start punting out there. But we were very basic this week, just catching kicks and kicking, and onders and holders and snappers, and just getting back into the basic fundamentals. But like I said earlier, the good thing is we went live field goal block, so just early enough into what I'm calling fall camp that we can evaluate the guys, and that's always good to do. But yeah, very basic with our kickers and our punters, and we'll continue to progress those guys, moving forward.
Got a follow-up from Tom Green.
Gus, it seems like we've seen a fair amount of highlights of Mark Anthony during this first week of practice from the clips you guys have put out there. Just how has he looked coming off that leg injury from last year?
Yeah, Mark has done some good things this last week. The thing about it, he wasn't able to have reps last year. So he's just slowly getting acclimated and getting used to practice and everything that goes with it. But like I've said before, he's extremely talented. He just needs more reps. It was really good for him to carry the football out there today and get back to doing what he does.
Next question is from Christian Clemente. Excuse me.
Gus, do you have any updates on Malcolm Johnson Jr.? Is he going to be arriving on campus soon?
I'm not even for sure about the rules with me being able to comment on that right now, so I probably better just pass on that question. Not trying to avoid it, but I just want to make sure that.
From Philip Marshall.
Gus, lots of talk about how much Chad likes to throw to tight ends, or as he has in the past. Can you just kind of talk about what you've seen from those guys, the tight ends?
Yeah. Looking at the stat sheet here, it looks like the tight ends had 4 catches or 5 catches during the scrimmage. So, yeah, he likes to throw the tight end, utilize 11 personnel, likes to use 12 personnel, which that's 2 tight ends. And so he's done that, some throughout this first week. So just changing things up. And I think it's a good change up. And we got some guys that are competing for those positions.
Has any of them stood out just during practice as far as?
It's real hard to just 1 week to say anybody stood out. But the two freshmen coming in, one thing I can tell you is they're as talented as we thought. Okay, they've got the talent. Now, the experience and getting used to the physicality of the game and everything with it, we'll have to see how that goes and give them enough scrimmage reps, these next couple of weeks.
Thanks.
Next question is from Rick Beach. Rick.
Hey, Coach, I was wondering what you've noticed from Bo's confidence and just his progression from the Outback Bowl to seeing him again today.
Yeah, I will say this. He's very confident. There's no doubt about that. I can tell that he's starting to feel like it's more of his team, which that's the natural progression for a true freshman that starts. And, he's getting used to Coach Morris's offense, and they've done quite a bit of things, but Bo can handle it. And I would say he had a good first week.
Got time for 2 more follow-ups. First one's from Mark Murphy. Mark.
Gus, you got a big class of freshman defensive linemen. What's your first impression of those guys?
Well, they're athletic. We actually gave them an extra set or 2 of reps at the end of our scrimmage today, just to give them as many reps they could. But they all are talented. They're all, I think is going to have a chance to help. And, this year especially, we always play a lot of guys anyway, but we got to be prepared in all positions to have more depth. And so that's the way we're looking at it. But, I think the group is, I think they got a chance to be a really good group before they get out of here.
All right, we're going to take two more. First one will be from Steve Moulton, and then lastly will be from Tom Green.
Coach, on the quarterback position, I'm wondering backup quarterback position. Tell me what maybe Grant Loy and a few others are doing there for that competition.
Yeah, so Grant Loy, he got quite a few reps today and did some solid things. Cord Sandberg got quite a few reps. Shale Garnett and then Trey Lindsey, all four of those guys got reps today. That was by design.
Gus, want to ask you about the linebackers. Obviously, you have KJ, Owen, and Zacoby coming back, but with Chandler and Josh now opting out, how did the rest of those guys kind of look this week, and what they show you?
Yeah. I think their urgency, the three freshmen coming in, I think are all kind of what we thought, and they just need more experience, and so those older guys had an outstanding week too. So we're looking for depth, and we're looking to see who can step up and help us early. So that was a big part of this scrimmage today, and it'll be a big part of next week also.